Chess friends, I hope you are doing well. Today, I am going to illustrate a brilliant game by Magnus Carlsen, where he sacrificed his rooks on the board to defeat his strong opponent. This game is marvelous and was played in the Norwegian Championship, with black being gained soon. Stay tuned until the end of the video. Magnus started the game with knight to f3, and after c4 occurred in the game to control the center where d4 could be possible, we had e6 and d4, deploying the queen's gambit, here, d5, knight development, and the Nimzo Indian defense with the b7 or b4 variations are possible. Black played b6 because he wanted to develop his bishop through these diagonals, where d5 could also be possible. We had g3 because black here did not consider bishop to b7, instead, he was interested in the pawn on the c4 square, therefore, we had b3, and black could play d5 or bishop to b4 check. These two moves were possible, but black played b5, which is an inaccurate move because, after the exchanges, bishop g2 comes on the board, and black's bishop on b5 becomes ineffective. Would you like to consider bishop d6, blocking your knight's development? That's why we had d5 on the board, blocking the bishop's diagonal, castling, knight development, and knight to c3 happened in the game. Black posed the threat of considering c5, rook c8, bringing out the bishop, and castling. Knight to e4 is not possible, as white could capture it with two pieces. Therefore, after the bishop moves, rook comes to e1, where e4 becomes possible after moving the knight to the d2 square, opening up the bishop's diagonal, and allowing the other knight to create pressure on the center. Bishop e2 will gain access to this diagonal. After the bishop moves, castling happened in the game. You can see that Magnus should consider outplaying knight to d2 because after c6, Magnus had the opportunity to play e4 to open up the center and the diagonal for the bishop with full pressure and support from his pieces, but Magnus Carlsen is like a combination of Vladimir Kramnik, Bobby Fischer, and Garry Kasparov. He doesn't want to follow the opening rules too much, he plays in his own style, which makes him special. He played e4, which is also inaccurate, but it directly challenges the center on the board. We have captures and recaptures, and rook takes e4 is on the board. Opening instructions say not to bring your rook to the center early in the game because it can be attacked by many black pieces. Now black could play bishop to b7, attacking the rook, and opening principles also suggest keeping the rook on the first rank, but Magnus Carlsen played in an AlphaZero style, rook to h4, aiming to attack the kingside. After the bishop move, the rook was under attack, and Magnus should have played rook to f4, but he was not interested in my suggestion. He kept the rook on the h-file. The problem for Magnus is that the kingside is well secured. How can you attack black with your pieces? But don't worry Magnus, I am with you. Let me inspire you by sharing a motivational quote. The only thing standing between you and your goal is the bullshit story you keep telling yourself as to why you can't achieve it. Therefore, we have queen to e2 because he needs to focus on the center, and d5 to open up the bishop's diagonal is not possible. Therefore, after the bishop move, rook to e1 comes on the board. Here, black could actually consider a5 a4, but instead, black made a significant mistake by playing queen to b8. Why would you consider this move? Black did not seem to know why. Now white plays knight e5, threatening knight to g4 to attack the knight and queen h5, which could arrive to attack the kingside. It also opens the bishop's diagonal, so after the queen move and all the exchanges, we have queen to c2, attacking the pawn with full pressure. The knight could maneuver to put pressure on the knight, and here black played a serious mistake by playing c5. Why would you play this move? Now white gets the opportunity to consider knight g4, putting pressure on the knight. Here, black has to play h5, damaging his own pawn structure, because after knight takes knight, the pawn will be well secured, and you need to consider g6 to bring out your bishop. But in our actual game, instead of playing h5, black played h6. This only makes the position more complex for both sides. Magnus Carlsen then played a powerful move. Can you guess what Magnus Carlsen played here? The move he played, in AlphaZero style, is rook to e5. This move is marvelous because it seizes control over the 5th rank. You have to bring out your queen, and the queen's diagonal is also there, the other rook diagonal on h5, the bishop's diagonal, and the potential knight takes h6. All of these possibilities are in play. We have queen to f3, and here Magnus Carlsen again played an amazing move. You can pause the video here to guess it. The move that Magnus Carlsen played is knight takes h6, sacrificing the knight, because after the capture, the g-file opens up. Therefore, there is a strong threat of queen h7, capturing the pawn. We have rook takes h6, attacking the rook, with the queen diagonal still intact. Rook to g5 could lead to a checkmate against black, so black has to consider king g7. Now Magnus Carlsen played another brilliant move. Try to pause the video here if you missed the previous moves, and don't ask how Magnus Carlsen became so smart. He is my subscriber, he plays with me many times, and he studies chess more than 6 to 8 hours a day. That's why he's very smart at chess. And if you dare to capture the rook on the h6 square, as happened in the game, Magnus now plays bishop to c1, attacking the king, who is now hopeless and unable to move anywhere. After capture, we have rook to g4. Checking the black king. This position is just over because after the king moves, we have rook to h4 check, leaving black with limited options. King h5 was not considered by black. Instead, black actually played queen to e3, trying to sacrifice his queen and protect his position. Now Magnus played rook to h4 check because he needs to coordinate his pieces. We have knight h5 blocking the check, but this position is over. Do you know why? Because Magnus played yet another brilliant move. Do you know what it is? The move is rook takes h5, sacrificing the rook again on the board, and don't yell like a joker. Now, the king should not move back because, literally, the king will be checkmated there. Therefore, after that capture, we have queen to h6, and finally, Magnus captures the queen. We have rook to c8, and the king moves up because Magnus is interested in checkmating you in just a few moves. Alright, we have captures, h3, king there, check another check, king there and queen takes d4, checkmate. I hope you enjoyed this game by Magnus Carlsen, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Wishing you all the best, bye bye, take care and see you soon.